Okay, okay, wobbling. We've spoken about it in the previous lecture, but I only covered it obliquely, and so, because, well, I've been really trying to figure out what it means, and so here's what I can say about it, at least to a minimal degree of competence as far as I can tell. It seems to me that it's a, what would you say, it's the manifestation of a sort of Nietzschean nihilism towards the game itself. And wobblers organize themselves in a hierarchy. It's like, the more you hate the game's metaphysical substrate, which is, we could say, the pursuit of embodying a smash god, for example, Mango, the better you do in the wobbler hierarchy. It's like, the less you care about the game's state, the better you are as a wobbler. And it's not obvious to me that that is known. And what we've been observing from the psychoanalytical literature is that those wobblers who exhibit the least amount of empathetic emotions, you could say, do substantially better within the hierarchy, especially at the levels of the extremes. And so, well, wobblers are no joke, They will wobble you no matter how triggered you are. And it gets even worse when their community backs them up, which is an absolute catastrophe as far as I can tell. And you might say, what's so wrong about backing up your local wobbler? And, well, you're a complete fool to not realize the damage you're doing by proposing such an orientation. But we can delve into that hellish rabbit hole further later on. And well, okay, so what do you do about it? Well, you might first say it's lame. Sure, and it is. It's even worse, because it's ranked up by communities as the lamest thing you could do across the FGC. And you might say, well, okay, so I won't play with anyone who wobbles ever again. Period. It's too lame. Sorry, not interested in friendlies. And it's nothing new, It's the reason none who represents the hero archetype, let's say, doesn't enjoy playing with the wobbler types. But it's really interesting, because I really tried to wrap my head around what that means exactly. And, well, this is what I came up with, and so I'm going to cover this question obliquely once again. And so, as far as I can tell, it's a denial of your call to duty. Well, who else is going to fight the surge of, how would you say, post-documentary wobbling types? It's not going to be Mango or none, and that's a real problem. Wobbling is how would you say, it's the instantiation of a manifestation of the god of the underworld. It's seriously, seriously lame. And so it deserves the attention you would give to an 8-year-old toddler that hasn't learned to let the other kid have fun. It's a sociopathic pathology. It has to be taken seriously. And so you can't combat it by blindfolding your eyes and choosing Ganondorf. It's a losing strategy. And you also can't wait for your communities to ban it. That's just it's not reliable enough. But so what do? Well, you might first establish the reason you started to play the damn game in the first place. You're competing in a, how would you say, it's a hierarchy. It's a hierarchy of values, akin to the hierarchy of beauty. So what are your values? How do you want the game to be played? Do you want to prove that a lame way of playing the game, fishing for grabs to infinite combos, will lead to victory? No. So do you want to prove that wobbling can be beaten with the right amount of balance and abusing their bad habits? Yes. And so now, well, you might say, well, my matchup is bad, and so I don't want to play as Sheik or Marth, and I'm going to pick Peach and double jump cancel, fair enough. And it's not, I'm not saying that's not a viable strategy. It's a fine strategy, and I can understand it, but, there's a powerful argument to be made about picking up Peach. But it isn't at all coherent with who you are by any stretch of the imagination. You, a spacey main, playing Peach all of a sudden. Yeah, well, good luck trying that. Icy's mains just wobble those poor souls to infinity. It's an absolute travesty. It's hell. 300% every time. It really is. You've been playing your main for years, and all of a sudden you think you can learn double float cancel aerials. It's like, grow the hell up. and clean your game up. You take responsibility for the wobble. And that's facing the dragon of lame within you. Confront what's deeply lame about even you. And that's when you find your true self. It's like, man, you've forgotten why you even started to play the game in the first place. So, I would say don't pick up Peach. It's a bad long-term strategy. Besides, we've seen enough of the, what would you say, postmodernist Peach types, such as the, what was the name? Ryo Heat. No, Ryo Beat. Yes, sorry, yes. Oh, he beat Wizrobe. Well, there you go. And more power to him as far as I'm concerned. More power to him. Well, okay, so that was wobbling. So make sure you don't let them wobble you to 300%. Press start, for God's sakes, and just quit the game, go home, clean your room, and learn the goddamn matchup.